Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today I was going to talk about my experience with disability. So after my year-long episode in 2016 and I landed in jail because I went into someone's house because I was out of my mind, I applied for disability. I think it was in March of 2007 that I actually ended up applying because like you can't just go to jail for 3 months in LA County and like come back like normal. Like especially the area that I was in, it was crazy. And then just like I spent a year of my life like basically wandering the streets and like being around really dangerous people and seeing some really bad things. And can you stop it? You want out? There you go. So yeah, I didn't feel that that working would be healthy for me mentally. Like I was having to recover from all this stuff that I had gone through. So I applied for disability. I had gotten temporary disability before one time when I was working in Santa Monica and I had my episode and I basically stopped going to work. So I got paid disability, then temporary disability, but I went back to work as soon as I could. And then this time around, I was like, there's no way I can go to a job. Like, I just can't even deal. Like, it's so hard for me to like even get through the day without like analyzing a conversation I have with someone or getting anxiety over something. Like, these are all things that I'm still dealing with. And it's 4 years later now, 3 years later now. So anyway, I applied again. I used one of those people from the TV that they run commercials like call us and, we'll work on your disability case for you, blah, blah, blah. So I met with them in March, explained my whole story to them and everything, and they handled all the paperwork. And come to find out, like, they didn't put the correct dates for my case. And I was denied temporary disability, and then I was denied permanent disability. And this process takes a really long time. So the first time, it's probably a couple of months before they tell you you're not gonna qualify for temporary disability. And then you continue with the process and you apply for permanent disability. And by law, if you look at the law, it's very like, it says it has to impede, like your illness has to impede your functioning at your job. And I think I've talked about this before, actually. So that is the law. Like you have to like, be like, hey, these flashbacks are impeding my life because I can't concentrate. I can't think when I'm in my daily life. I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle a job. So they deny me over and over again. And so I end up going to court, and then the judge is like, they have like some third-party expert come in, right, that deals with employers, and then it's me and the lawyer was such a douchebag. He was so like, gave me the creeps. Like as a woman, like he gave me the creeps, like just pervy, like it was just creepy. And so we're sitting in the court hearing, and the guy asked me, did you do drugs when I was in my episode? Because I was talking about when I was in my episode. And it was really difficult for me to explain my situation, and it always is, because I'm a very proud person. Like I worked really hard for the things that I had. I'm like pretty reliant on my husband now, but I worked my ass off through college, and I worked my ass off, I worked in like retail for like 10 years, but I like worked my way up to where I was working at a job where I was making a significant amount of money, where I was able to buy my own place at like 26. And then I took a job that paid like 1/3 of that and worked at that job for like 8 years until I was finally able to get promoted, but I never made what I was worth, and I had horrible mentorship and all this other stuff, a whole nother story. But I'm like really proud, I'm like, I shouldn't have to ask anybody for anything, and it's difficult for me to, I always think I'm stronger than I am, like when I was talking to my psychiatrist, I'm like telling her everything that's going on, and then she's like saying, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say your anxiety is? And I'm like, well, I don't know, I guess like a 3, because I'm not having a panic attack, and she's like, it doesn't sound like a 3, it sounds like what you're describing is more like a 6 or 7. So then I like have to sit there and think about it, and then it's like, oh yeah. So in the court case, I don't think that I was exactly like forthcoming with all of these things that are disruptive in my life, because at that time I wasn't really examining them. I just knew like I couldn't deal. And I think now that I've had counseling, I'm able to look at the situations, and I kind of know better about what's causing them. I still am having difficulty dealing with those things. Hence, my medication had to be increased. So yeah, and what I was trying to explain to the court the whole time was that, look, if I go to work, it's going to increase my chances of having another episode, but they don't give a shit about that. They only care about, if you go to work, is your current state going to be disruptive to your job? So they had this third-party expert lady say, hey, what did she do before? This was her job, blah, blah, blah. And then the judge asked the lady, in your professional opinion, could she do this job again? Essentially work as a media buyer. And the lady says, no. And then, so the judge goes, okay, and then the judge goes, what kind of job could this person do? And she's like naming off, like, what did she say? It was like retail, like, like somebody like shoving boxes, putting stuff in boxes. It just crap, like jobs, something that requires like zero thought, barista, that was what they came back with. And the lady said, oh yeah, she could do that, because they're saying like, oh, this isn't as stressful as another job, which doesn't make any sense, because like, who are they to say what's stressful or not? But yeah, if you guys are ever going to apply for disability, which I highly recommend you do, if you are someone who is experiencing severe issues on the job, know that it takes years to get it. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get it. I was denied repeatedly, and the law firm pretty much dumped me, but I lashed out at them because they made a lot of mistakes and sent me with a creepy lawyer, 2 different creepy lawyers, and they put the wrong dates on the judge tells you why they denied you. And one of the things that he said in there was, oh, when she came to the hospital, when she was hit by the car, like, oh, it seemed like she was reacting as if she was on drugs. And like, I don't know like where that came from. And like, newsflash, anyone in a manic episode acts like they're on drugs. Ridiculous. And but he listed in one of the reasons like, oh, well, she says she has this and that, but she's not seeking payment for this time. So I don't know if he thought I was working during that time or what, but it was really messed up. So that law firm agreed to go the extra mile, but I'm at a point where it's probably going to be denied. My case just totally got screwed up. So if you guys are ever going to apply for that, I know it's like a huge like step, like admitting like, hey, I really think I have to apply, because it's not something that anyone dreams of ever doing. And I'm still hoping that one day I can figure out my own path and find something where I can make money that helps my mental health versus puts it at risk. So anyway, yeah, if you do ever apply for it, don't use one of those shitty law firms. Pay somebody to do it, because those like 1-800 people, they'll just screw you over. They don't really care about you. But anyway, that's my 2 cents. I'm going to look up some stuff on dual diagnosis, and that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.